So James Carville, a Democratic representative, called out Ilhan Omar. Says party needs to praise greatness of U.S. What does that mean? What does that mean that we need to praise U.S.? Brandon, do you have the clip on that?
Yes, I do.
If you can play that clip, go for it. Here's Carville.
Why don't you just get out the Democratic Party? Honestly, start your own
Who's he
movement.
talking about?
All right, let's do the simple math. Probably 69%, I don't know, we could call Jim Gerstein or Jeff Garrett. Roughly
Ilhan.
69% of people are going to vote in November, maybe more. Let's do 70 for just round math, are going to be white. Of that, 48%, maybe a little more, are going to be male. So that's roughly, let's just call it 33 1/3% of the entire election. Well, let's just run against them because that's so goddamn smart. All right. So now we're going to have a campaign by the progressive left against white men who vote about a third of everybody that votes in an election. Why don't you, lady, start your own party? And then when it's over, if you want to caucus with the Democrats, fine. We agree with a lot of things that you do, but we don't believe we ought to be running against white men. In fact, we don't think we ought to be running against any gender, any ethnic group, any race, any religion, or anything else. God damn, these people are just helpless. They cannot be helped. There's nothing you can do to help them. They don't want to be helped. And if they had any guts, they'd start their own goddamn political party and get out of ours.
Okay, so that's
Bingo.
that. By the way, pause it and go back to what Jasmine Crockett said. Did she say to who said it that we need a something white man? Is that who said it?
Jasmine Crockett.
Do you have that one,
Yes.
Brandon? Okay, watch this here, folks.
It is fear that the people within the party, within the primary system, will have about voting for a woman, because every time we voted for a woman, we've lost so far. And I think that that's a natural fear because we just want to win. So there's a lot of people that are like, you know what? Like, let's go find the safest white boy we can find. I mean, I'm just saying.
Those are the callers that we're hearing. We're hearing people.
No, for real.
A white man's got to do it. We're getting those callers.
For real. And to be clear, when we talk about them, I can tell you that there is one specific candidate. I had a donor on the phones with me telling me that all the donors are lining up behind that candidate. So I can tell, and I can tell you, it's not a black person nor woman. Okay. So like it is, they have, quote unquote, they have chosen. And when I say that,
All right,
Keep putting her in front of the
So
camera,
two things. Carville, your thoughts on that, Tom, and then we'll go to Crockett. Go ahead.
Okay, here's what I think is happening. Trust them when they say, because trust that they're telling the truth. James Carville is saying, we need to praise the greatness of USA, even though the core globalist, socialist, liberal Democrats do not believe that. But he is telling them we have to do this if we want to win. Then listen to her. The core of the party, they have selected. Remember Pat's comments about arranged marriage? Listen between the lines. She's admitting it right there. They have selected. They have selected. There's this one white boy that they're all getting behind. I think it's J.B. Pritzker, because Gavin Newsom is going to be just nuked on California, left, right, and center, by his own competitors in the party. You can't even run your own state. Don't tell me what's going on. Can you hear J.B. saying that?
Of course.
Yep. Can you hear Shapiro saying that?
Of course.
So guess what? He's going to be battered and bruised. He's not the guy. I don't think Shapiro's the guy, because there's something below the surface there is why Shapiro didn't get chosen.
We know about something.
Yeah, but we all know about that. There's something going on there. So guess what? I think it's J.B. Pritzker. He's got the money. He can self-do it. He's got the unions. He's from the Midwest. There's a lot of things going on. I think that's what she's talking about. But this is not truth. They are running to a fake center. They are faking it to the center. You know the old thing from Clinton? It says, you got to govern from the center. No, these people are trying to run from the center, and then they're going to govern from the left socialists, and they're going to go after all this stuff. And they're telling Ilhan Omar, hey, calm down, step back, sit down, get out of sight. Why are they saying this? Because they're trying to run from the center. But America, it is a fake center. These are the same globalists, the same socialists that are there. And what you're seeing right now is a few of them. And by the way, you know who else is real smart about this? Van Jones. You know who else is real smart about this? Bill Maher. And now listen to those voices, stack them all side by side, and tell me what you think you're hearing. And they want Bernie and the freaks to go over and just hang loose, stay in the closet, and then you not that closet. You go stay in the other room. But when the party starts, we're going to be governing from the left, and we're going to destroy everything they believe in. But we got to run to the right and stop right there in the center. When I say run to the right of where we are, stop in the center, but it's a fake center.
But and Tom, notice how she said, well, I mean, James Carville just sitting there, just old and white, and it's like, that's the problem with the Democratic Party. That's who they have speaking for them.
But beyond all of his bluster, he gave numbers that he's right about.
Yeah, no, he's right about the numbers. But then when you go to her, she's talking about women and not women. Look at the women that they're putting up. Hillary Clinton, who's a freaking criminal. Let's not even get into her. Kamala Harris, zero message, zero policy, has no idea what the hell she's doing. And then you have Jasmine Crockett, the most hood rat, ratchet ass. like that's gonna work. Like they didn't learn that shit doesn't work. All right, Tom, and you're talking about faking it. At the end of the day, from the J.B. Pritzkers, yes, he has the money, and yes, he's doing that dog whistle to call for people to get in the streets and basically riot and cause this disruption. At the end of the day, guys, no matter who comes in, and I want nobody to be fooled, for the Democratic Party, every single thing that Trump is doing, they're going to reverse. That needs to be every talking point of every debate is, are you going to open up the border? Is that what you're, because that's the main thing to me, is that's what they're going to do. They're going to open the border. They're going to reverse every trade deal. They're going to dismantle everything. And that's why we cannot let them win.
And just in, why are they doing it?
Why?
Trump's approval rating heading up to the right. As soon as the sentiment of the market changes, and the market's had everything. We got all those things that China already talked about.
Yeah.
But you see what's happening?
It's going up.
Soon as things move a little bit, his approval rating moves a lot a bit.
Yes.
And this freaks them out. And so they're like, guess what? This is what we have to do. This is what we're fighting. This is just this morning.
So he just pulled up something. Brandon, can you go back to what you just pulled up? Vegas odds for 2028. Who's at the top? Newsom?
Yeah, so it was
go back to it.
Where is it? So I saw Newsom at number 1, surprisingly, AOC number 2, and Pete Buttigieg 3.
Wow. So type in more markets to see if any other names comes below it. Josh Shapiro is for zooming a little bit. Look at Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah, he jumped up.
Stephen A. 7. Kamala is below Stephen A. Smith now. That is embarrassing. Gretchen Whitmer, Wes Moore, Andy Bashar, J.B. Pritzker, Tim Walz, Mark Cuban, Michelle Obama, Cory Booker. I think.
Pat, can I ask you one question?
Yeah, for sure.
You're a student and a teacher of sales, public speaking, and a lot of things. We have courses that we sell where you're teaching the world this. Put those people. This is just the perceptions in the voting right now.
Right.
Put J.B. Pritzker and the top 8 of those people on stage, and what do you think happens?
I think he does well. I do
too. And I think a bunch of these disappear. I think Gretchen Whitmer disappears. I think
I don't even know why Kamala's on that list.
I think Mayor Pete disappears. Kamala isn't even going to be on the stage. They're not going to let it happen.
You think AOC will be on the stage?
I think AOC, if AOC is on the stage, she's being allowed to be on the stage if she's non-volatile enough to be a VP candidate.
If she's non-volatile enough to be a VP candidate.
If she's non-volatile enough, she gets up on stage and says whack, then I think what will happen is they'll pull her back. But I think she's maturing. I think she's maturing as a politician. I don't agree with her points, but I think she's maturing. I think she's moderating a little bit. I think she's being coached, but I think she's formidable, and I think she would be there merely to raise her profile to the voter, knowing that, look, she's only going to go 3 rounds in this thing, and then these other people are going to...
Adam, thoughts?
So it's so obvious to me that the Democratic Party as an establishment is moving on from straight white men. We don't need you. We don't want you. We ain't here for you anymore. Is there any more clear of an example of James Carville fighting with one of the new faces of the progressive left, Ilhan Omar, who's loudly and proudly saying out loud in America that white men are the problem?
Extremists.
Yeah. So, it's so amazing to me that in America, Ilhan Omar can online and in real life criticize the president of the United States. But in Somalia, where she's from, if she said little bo peep about whoever the leader of the piracy of Somalia is these days, she'd be goners. So she's out there singing about abortion and women's rights. They don't do that in Somalia. No. So it's don't do as I say, I do as I do. She hasn't lived this type of life, but she's using it to indoctrinate her people. You know what they call the city that she runs in Minneapolis? Little Mogadishu. Just like in Miami, we have Little Havana or Little Chinatown in San Francisco, Little Mogadishu. And watch out for what's going on there. Now, Pat, you said one of your words that you were talking about for this year was signal versus noise. In my opinion, this is just a whole bunch of noise. Because these women, these loud, yappy women in the Democratic Party and also in the Republican Party have what I would call no power. So AOC probably has the most power. She's a representative. Let's set her aside. Ilhan Omar, she's just a loud woman. Jasmine Crockett, a loud ghetto woman. Rashida Tlaib, a loud terrorist woman. So they don't have power.
What do you mean terrorist woman?
She's a Palestinian Hamas supporter, straight up. They're not pro-America. Like, how many times do we need to see them encourage people to basically burn down the flags?
Yeah.
By the way, in terms of hierarchical order, by the way, I could say the same thing from Marjorie Taylor Greene or Lauren Boebert, how about just make a lot of noise, but at least you know they love America. So, you know, in a hierarchy of who has the most power, it goes representative, mayor, senator, governor, president of the United States, in no particular order other than that.
I don't know if I put any mayor. It's mayor of a big city, I would say.
Okay,
To be
but the
there.
point
I agree
is,
on the big
a
city.
mayor of a big city has more
New York,
has more power
Chicago,
than
LA.
than any of these loud
I
yappy
got
women,
you.
with
Point's
the
been made.
exception
So here's David
of
Hogg.
maybe
Let's see
AOC.
Here's David Hogg on Bill Maher. Go ahead.
Now, what I think happened last election is younger men, they would rather vote for somebody who even if they don't completely agree with, they don't feel judged by, than somebody who they do agree with, that they feel like they have to walk on eggshells around constantly because they're going to be judged or ostracized or excommunicated. And what's interesting about this moment is it feels like the two parties in some senses have flipped, where, you know, Republicans used to be the judgmental assholes in many ways. And since many Democrats, despite us, I would say for most of us coming from the right place of wanting to do the right thing, we've created a culture where we say, well, if you say the wrong thing, you're excommunicated. And that's just not how human beings work. Nobody is perfect, but ultimately what we have to do here is figure out how to bring people back in and work towards the bigger goal of advancing the future of this country and helping young people especially get by so that they're able to focus on their lives and, you know, getting with a young woman or something like that, instead of how are they going to pay their rent, for example, or how are they working their two jobs. Young people should be able to focus on what young people should be focused on, which is how to get laid and how to go and have fun.
David Hogg for president, ladies and gentlemen.
Not in the Democratic Party, buddy. So, by the way, fully agree with the guy. Makes a lot of sense. You know, he's you know where he's from, by the way. He's from
He's a
15 minutes
survivor
away
from
in Parkland.
Terrible.
So he was, I think, recently voted in as co-chair of the DNC. Vice. But now he's speaking what I would call common sense. And I literally think he's trying to be removed right now.
They're trying to remove
They're trying to remove who?
Yeah.
They, them are trying to remove them?
No, they, them.
Exactly. So when you think of cancel culture and you think of identity politics, he basically just called out the party that is essentially the reason that the party is losing, and they canceled him. Is that an actual true story?
Well, on
that they're
Monday,
removing him?
the Credentials Committee of the DNC voted 13-2 to void the election results of February in which Hogg and Pennsylvania State Rep. Malcolm Kenyatta D. were elected to serve as co-vice chair of the DNC, according to the New York Times. The vote comes as Hogg is reportedly planning to spend up to $20 million to fund primary campaigns against incumbent Democrats. They're going to eat their own, bro. This party is so freaking lost. And David Hogg, I mean, where'd he come from?
What do you mean, where'd he come from?
No, I mean, like, he doesn't have no political background. He was at the Parkland shooting. He was a survivor. God bless
then
him.
he went to Harvard.
Survived.
I think he became
he went to
president of
Harvard, and
student-
he's one of the guys that wants to take everybody's guns away from him. You should
I don't
Google
know
the
if
amount
that's-
of crazy. No, Adam, it's a fact. The amount of stuff that he said about us and having guns and stuff, he ain't the truth, and they're
Well,
gonna. He has no chance.
I'm
with
just
them.
going to put myself
They're
in
gonna
his
eat him
shoes for a
alive.
second. Just for a second.
Yeah.
If I saw, a couple dozen of my classmates die in front of me, I'd probably have some strong feelings about guns.
Yeah, and take him away from everybody.
That's not what I'm
no,
saying.
that's his attitude. And I don't like it.
I'd like to see some quotes from him. I'm assuming he has a pretty strong position on it because his roommate in class and his classmates got killed. So that would probably wake you up just a little bit. Now, I'm not advocating for taking away all guns. I'm not even sure if that's his position. But I understand why he would feel that way. Do you not?
No, I understand, but what qualifications does that have to do to run a party, run a whole Democratic
But no,
national?
you talked about his thoughts on 2A. Don't you think if you have a couple dozen of your friends die, that might in front of you might sway your opinion just a little.
That's fine with the swing, but for you to say Americans don't need any guns. Let's just take all the guns.
Show me that quote.
I have a problem with it.
Show me that.
Look, we've seen this movie before, separate what you guys are talking about. It was called
You
the
have a
Tea
quote?
Party. It was called the Tea Party. The Tea Party said, we're going to primary some of the guys in our own party, in the Republican Party, because we're upset with you and we don't agree with you on this and this and this, and the Tea Party was born. What he just said, you could just change that and take that back 20 years and put another face on it, and that's what the Tea Party sounded like. This is not what we want. This is not the party we envision. This is not what we're doing, and we're going to primary them. And guess what? The Tea Party people got ostracized on the outside too. Well, now the Dems are saying, hang on, we can't have this guy taking money and primarying some of our favorite players. No, that's not the way you do it, and that's what's happening here.
Well, Tom, very good point. The only sort of counterbalance I would say to that, the Tea Party had conviction. I think they came to power over the national debt and our budgets and our deficits.
I completely agree with the principles
And
of it, but I'm saying it's the same situation where people upsetting the establishment got you're
the
outta here.
difference is that what does the Democratic Party stand for at this point? I used to vote Democrat. I look at them, I'm like, what are you doing for someone like me? A normal, straight, white guy. Like, they're kicking people like us out of the party. And we're looking at the party now being like, who are these people? The Tea Party at least had conviction. They wanted fiscal conservatism. Tell me what the Democratic Party, especially the progressive left, stand for at this point.
I agree with that 100%.
Just basically TDS and hating on Trump.
Oh, Adam, he once
If you
tweeted.
if you say you're gonna primary the establishment, this is what happens.
Adam, David Hogg once tweeted, "You have no right to a gun. You are not a militia. You have no right to a gun as an American."
When did he tweet that?
I don't. It's out there. He could Google it. It's out there. I'm not lying to you. It's ChatGPT found it too.
Okay.
He has no. Adam, they're going to eat him alive. He has no chance. Sorry, he's gone.
Okay.
The story just came out today about him.
PBD, do you have any strong feelings on David Hogg and what's going on here with this guy?
No, I'm just watching these guys try to find each other, trying to find out what they're going to be doing. And they're contradicting each other. They're going into different factions, and they're creating, they are so lost right now. It's not even funny. For me, it was easy. The best thing you said is, what do you stand for? Tell me what you stand for. Not what you're against, but what do you stand for? I don't even know what they stand for. I've asked the question so many times. What is it you stand for? We've always been the less judgmental party. Now we're the more judgmental party. That was actually very good analysis on how he broke it down. Because, Republicans were Christians that were judgmental. You can't do this.
Yep.
You can't do that. So now it's like the other way around, walking on eggshells with the Democratic Party. Yeah. The Lemon Campaign has become a massive hit. This is a gift that gets sent to people who are maybe going through a challenging season right now with a lemon hat, with the whole campaign. The thought is about when life gives you lemons, which a lot of people have had that maybe recently. If you know anybody, it is so amazing because you get to write a message on the inside while you're sending it to someone, and it brightens their day. There's a message I'm giving to the person that's receiving it. I want to read you a couple of the notes without the names, but I want you to hear what this is doing. I know things have been rough for you, but I hope this gift puts a smile on your face and some encouragement. You are amazingly talented, and I know you will make it through. Hang in there. Love, Ma. Brother, I know life has been challenging. I want to say I'm proud of you and keeping everything together, staying true to yourself. I love you, and I know you can shoulder this, and we'll be a better person about it. You ready for this next one? This next one's awesome. You are one of the strongest people I know. Your recovery from brain surgery has been difficult, but you are getting stronger every day. Our son watches you during process and sees the warrior his mom is. We love you. Happy Mother's Day.
Wow.
And happy birthday.
Wow. Jeez.
Shout out to
Mother's
that
Day
mom.
and happy birthday. So
recovery.
I'm so in love with this product and what it's doing to families. If you haven't gone yet and send one of these to someone, it's called Zest It Forward. We have the link right there on vtmerch.com. And on top of that, new merch here. This will fly in no time because we only did limited supply of this. For those of you guys that just want to go to work and wear something to get reaction from others, we have the new limited edition Gulf of America hat. It used to be Gulf of Mexico cross stuff. Now it says Gulf of America. Okay, we have different versions of it. Another one that says Gulf of America, Gulf of Mexico. On the side, it says Future Looks Bright. On the back, it says Valuetainment.
That's sick right
And
there.
this one is sick.
That's
This
my
will go.
favorite.
I love
is
that
going to
one.
fly off the shelves. Gulf of America,
I want
Valuetainment,
that
red,
one.
white, and blue. This is legit. And then we got the shirts to match the hats.
This is
so
where it's at. This
go
is
place an
sexy.
order. Anything above $100 shipping and handling is free. But anything you place the order, you will get. Oh, by the way, this goes with the hat.
That goes
Check
with the
this out.
hat.
Look at this. Put this with the
is
hat.
sick.
Oh, that's
That is
bad.
actually pretty sick.
That
right
works.
There. Okay, that's actually
Chris
pretty
is
sick
killing
right there.
it.
Together. Anyways,
then this
go to vtomerch.com, place your order. Keychain. Zoom in on the keychain so they can see it. A Valuetainment and US keychain will be sent to you right there. Zoom in a little bit on that keychain. There you go. Check that out. It's pretty sick. So go to vtmerch.com, place your order. Let the world know it's officially Golf of America. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.